Okay.
So, welcome. Good morning, Marcus. Welcome and good morning to this space, Marcus, because this is the first time I will do ATMA con Beatriz in English, and you are the first guest here. So
Okay,
ATMA, ATMA. I tell you is Atma is a word in Hindi, in Sanskrit, not in Hindi, in Sanskrit that means soul. But in Spanish, if I put that as an acronym, that it means Atma means aprendiendo a transformar nuestro mundo en alternativas, which in English is learning to transform our world in alternatives. So
okay.
this is the space to share with my friends. So here you are. And the first question is that you introduce yourself. So who is Marcus?
Wow. Okay. Well, it's probably easiest to start with where we met. So you and I met, of course, in the Newfield Ontological Coaching Program, and I was part of the training team when I first met you. And so I've been living in Asia for about 20 years. So I met you first in Singapore when you came over, and the Newfield work is a big part of my life, both personally and professionally. So I'm part of the team that runs it here in conjunction with you. But it's also been great for me personally, not just professionally as a coach and as a trainer of the program, but also for me personally. It's been a great experience to really work with that methodology. So that's what I always experience our relationship through, that lens of the ontological Newfield approach, really.
And we met. I will tell my friends, because maybe some of the people that will listen this after are people that don't know you. And I met Mark, our dear friend and your colleague for so many years. I met him in a meeting in Boulder, Colorado in 2011. And the first time that we met, you guys are from England and I'm from Mexico, and we were having so much fun because we were so different with Mark. With you, then that you are some Latin inside, because you have more.
Must be my dancing.
Your dancing is amazing. For example, you dance like a really Latin guy, like if you were from Cuba, let's say. But the thing is that I met Mark, and we were having so much fun because we were having a lot of conversations in which we were like, what? Are you kidding me? You're that serious? And he was like, what? Are you kidding me? You are so flexible. So, and then after, he invited me to, I thought it was a joke. He invited me to go and stay for a few weeks in Singapore, because he was not going to be there and he wanted my help to sell the program, to help selling. But then Joelene, the girl that works with you, a dear friend of us now, but people maybe doesn't know who's Joylene. She said, okay, now that you're coming, could you do some workshops? So I was doing workshops with her, but none of you were there. So the thing is that sometime after this first time that I was there, it was a need for someone to do somatics in the program. And Jolene was the one that raised the hand and say, hey, I have seen the work of Beatriz. She can come and do it here. And then I went again, and I met you the first time, but it was just an interaction that we really did anything. I think you saw one of the workshops, the one that I did in Singapore, but we didn't have that many conversations in that first time. But it was very nice connection with all of you, and opportunity to see another culture for me. I live in India for some time, but in Singapore, there are so many cultures living together. And for me, it was like amazing that for you guys, it's like a kind of transparent, because you are part of it and you are with people from all over the world. And you are like, no kidding, you have Chinese, Indians, and Latins and Europeans in the same place. And I was like, that part was, and so when I got the invitation to start working with you in the program, I was like, yes, it was a complete yes. And also the way we met, my memory and still now is that how you have been supporting so much the work that I do, and not just with your words, but also with your practice, that you have been in the room most of the time when I'm doing the part that I do. And I enjoy very much the way you enjoy and how you use for yourself that. So I do really appreciate that it's not in our conversation. So it's like I feel that a lot of closeness with you is like kind of we have met for many years, and actually we met like for the last 7 years, 8 years maybe. So and one thing that I admire, that is the topic of today, that how you have been able to, not just because of the health and wellness coaching program that we have right now in the company, and that you say it very humble that you are part of the team, but you are one of the owners of the program. So it's not just you are part of the team, you are one of the guys that you are my boss in a way. So it's like he said that we are working together, yes, and he also owns the program and owns the company and has all the right and power to do and change things, and also running all the corporate programs that you are doing right now in the company. But the way you use the wellness for yourself and in your life, the way you exercise and you take care of your nutrition, and every time that we are in a meeting, we have sometimes food and coffee, and you are opening your bag and bring your fruit and your vegetables and your peanuts and your things super healthy. So it's something that is in your life. So that's why this topic is the wellness through coaching, like integral wellness through coaching, because it's not just a topic to teach, but how. I want you to tell us how and when you start being so conscious of the importance of this wellness in your life, and how you have been doing this as a routine, and then how you have been taking this through your clients, because it's not just you, it's in you. It's not something that you talk about, it's something that you live with. So that's what I want you to tell us a little bit, so you can inspire us to start being more conscious of this wellness.
Wow. Okay. Well, where to start? Let's see. Well, I think in terms of, for me personally, in my own journey, before we get to the coaching part, I think I was like a lot of guys, but honestly, just a lot of corporate people, which was in my youth, teenager, 20s, I was pretty active. I played a lot of sport, played to a pretty high level. I've always been lucky. I've always had a good eye for balls, whether it's tennis, cricket, football. I've always been, reasonable standard. And then, like a lot of people in corporate life, gradually I noticed I was doing less and less. And as I went through my 30s, late 30s, early 40s, or late 30s, I should say, I realized I could just feel myself slowing down. And so it was partly I could just somatically, physically feel that I wasn't quite as sharp as I used to be. When I did do some exercise, it just wasn't quite as sharp. And then when I was 40, I got married. So as I got towards that, I started thinking, well, actually, it's not just for me and my performance. Actually, I really want to be, live a long, healthy, successful life in a great partnership with my wife. And I think those two things together kind of came together at the same time. And I actually remember very clearly, there was one evening I was in Taipei, I was doing a training. And I remember sitting there in my hotel room, faced with a bag of Doritos or something.
I love Doritos. I'm fun.
Me too. I love it. And
but you don't need it anymore. I eat it all the time.
That was the thing, you see. That was exactly it. I remember thinking, well, honestly, I can do this. There's one of two things I can do here. I can either get healthy, get sorted, get myself in line, get sorted here, or not. But what I'm not going to do is feel guilty about it. So it's either get something sorted here, or don't do it. But I'm not going to get in the middle. And I can feel I've been in the middle for a little while, with lots of kind of I shoulds, or I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't eat that, I should eat this, for example, should go to the gym. And it really wasn't working for me. And I just felt a kind of, not just a physical heaviness, but just a kind of a mental and emotional kind of, and that was it really for me. And I remember I went back to Hong Kong where I was living at the time, went straight to a gym, signed up, got a personal trainer, put some money down. So I was kind of at stake, and just started to see what I could do. And it went well. And like anything in life, when you start having some successes, it kind of inspires you to keep going. And so I lost a lot of weight, which was my primary goal. Tried to put on some muscle, didn't do so well at that, but enjoyed it. I think that was the key thing I noticed. I was enjoying it, and nutrition in particular, I started to really get interested in, and did some certifications and loved all that. And so that's kind of where it began for me. In terms of how do I sustain it, a lot of people ask me that, because I exercise pretty much every day. I'll do some kind of movement 7 days a week, really. I am a bit of a nut, I know, about my nutrition. I do take that seriously. Again, I just enjoy it. I enjoy that challenge of looking at the data, the science.
That situation of consciousness, that type A with the Doritos, I can imagine. I never saw you eating these kind of things. So it was before marriage or after?
Yeah, all of that was before. All of that was before. And then about a year later, it wasn't a long time though. It was about a year before. So I was engaged, but not married at the time. But I think there was a couple of stages really that made it sustainable. One was I enjoyed it, and so I kept doing it. And so that was one thing that kept me moving and kept me moving forward. And I could really feel the impact of it. I think another thing that happened, and this is an interesting thing, and I think I talk with if I'm working in leadership or coaching with people about this, which is at some point, it becomes more difficult not to do it than to do it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it becomes part of your identity. So when people see me, and you're a good example, they kind of expect me that, okay, Marcus, you're going to be eating healthy, you're going to be exercising. And if I didn't do that, people go, what's up with him? He's a bit weird now, you see. And I think once you can drive the change to a level of identity, and that your public identity, your private identity is linked with what you're doing, that's what really makes it, sustainable. So you've got to enjoy it. You've got to have an emotional reason to want to do it. And then over time, it just kind of becomes part of who I am.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I talk with about my clients who are interested to know more about it.
Okay. You mentioned then you got married when you were 40, and like a part of your wellness consciousness. I mean, like a part of but you were already thin when you got married, when you met Sari, because I don't see Sari seeing you if you were fat.
Well, I don't know. When she first met me, I don't know. It's not so true. When I got married, I was already fairly thin. Well, when we first met, no, I wasn't really. I mean, I'm tall. I'm 6'2", 191 centimeters. So I hide some weight pretty well, but I wasn't by no means thin. But to give you an idea, I went from, when I started working out, I was about 95 kgs. And then after about 6 months, I was down to about 78. I dropped it very quick. I exercised very hard. I really took care of my nutrition.
I wish I can lose that much in that fast. Well, I'm losing a lot right now.
Yeah, you definitely.
Yeah, I'm losing. I have lost around 9 kilos already, but in 1 year. Yeah, and it has been about my health, wellness, coaching, consciousness. But the thing is that I'm eating Doritos. I mean, I have not.
If you want to eat the Doritos, eat the Doritos. Enjoy them.
I love them. I love them, and I really enjoy them. I don't hide. I'm telling you, I'm addicted. I'm still addicted. I should. I mean, I'm eating a little less, but not like quitting like you. I don't have that. So when you met Sari, it sounds like a movie, huh? When you met Sari. When you met Sari, what happened? Because you said that it was also part of your consciousness, or it was important for you. Why? Because she was focusing that also, or because she was already exercising?
No, not at all. In fact, when people meet us today, they always think, oh, you met in the gym, right? No, not at all. When we first met, we didn't go to the gym at all. In fact, we used to go to the bar, and Sari used to smoke, and I used to drink a lot, and that's what we did,
Wow.
And then so that really developed over time. and she'd have to tell you, you'll have to bring her on another week and she'll tell you.
She will be here. She will be here.
Well, she'll tell you her story, but
yeah,
her story is a little different to mine. But mine was very much driven by, she's a little bit younger than me, and that was in my mind. So I wanted to make sure that, I'm here with her, for her, with her, for as long as, we can be together. And I wanted her to be proud of me when I was with her. It wasn't just for me and my own benefit. Yeah. It was also, I wanted her to be proud to be with me as well. So that was also a big part of it.
And you're a beautiful couple. I mean, you're a beautiful couple outside, inside, and you have this. Yeah, many people will say, "Oh, you met in the gym," because both of you are super fit. You are like and you will see Sari, and she will show us what she used to be and everything. I will ask her about her when she's here in this space.
Right.
So, and then you start, then what happened? That you continue with that, and then how it came like you say something very interesting. When something start being part of your identity,
yeah,
it's easier for us to sustain and maintain it's not just, I don't see it's just because the public identity, but it's our own identity. When I really believe who I am, and it's not something that I do, it's something that I am. It's exactly. Like it's part of my routine, and it's something that I do. Like I see your face smiling. It's not that, oh, I have to eat my nuts and everybody is eating chocolate. It's not like that. It's like you enjoy your things, because sometimes we are in meetings that you have your own thing, your own boiled egg, and we're having, so I'm like, okay, so he's healthy.
Yeah, and I'll eat chocolate as well. For those of you watching me, I'm not a complete, fanatic. I will eat chocolate and stuff. I will do that.
Yeah.
But in general,
it's like a normal.
I'm, but I think you touch on something very important, which is I don't feel like I'm depriving myself. I don't feel like I'm constantly kind of having to force myself not to do it. It just doesn't feel like that. When people ask me what my hobbies are, I say one of my hobbies is health, fitness, and nutrition. That's just a hobby. It's I choose to do it. I enjoy it. It's like other people might say they like to play golf, which is great. And, and I say, well, I like health, fitness, and nutrition. It's the same thing. So, for me, it's just got to that level of enjoyment around it. And I have to say now, Sari and I have been married 12 years. It really does help to have someone that I'm living with who's on the same page, who's in the same game. I think if Sari was out smoking 40 cigarettes a day, drinking a bottle of wine every night, eating all sorts of stuff, that would be much harder for both of us. That would be much harder. But it's not. We're both, now Sari has different fitness, health and nutrition goals than I do, but we're both in the same domain. And I think that's certainly a big factor. Certainly help.
It's nice because you can support each other, and exactly. you can like it's not something weird like, oh, you are eating again your vegetables, But I have friends that are married and the husband or the wife are not in the same game, and I have friends that I have a friend that partner, I'm not gonna say wife or husband, but the partner is addicted to drugs. And it's very difficult. And it's very difficult. However, they have been together for many years, and they want to continue. And I have other friends that say, if you continue with those bad habits that are toxic, not just for you, for me also in the place. Even though you go outside, the time that you came inside, the whole house is smelling with that. And I'm smelling that. It's like I'm inhaling your addiction, and I don't need it in my system. So there are people that put limits and say, not anymore, not with me, thank you very much, bye. And there are people that say, yeah, but the relationship is much more important than your addiction, and I want to be with you because I met you like that. So it's like people think different observers do. We do different things when we see the things with different lenses, right? So then how this situation, because our topic is like integral wellness through coaching, but also I can see that is coaching through integral wellness. It's both. It's like a highway. It's in both directions, because what I see is that this is through coaching we can get integral wellness, because we can be more conscious with with this program, for example, that we went through, that is the program that we are running in Singapore, that about health and wellness, that through health and wellness coaching, we can get this integral wellness, but also through this integral wellness, we can get coaching. So how are you using it with your clients nowadays? How are you putting all this knowledge that is part of your identity? Forget about the program right now, because I want also to talk about the program, but it's how you use it and how the clients see that, I can take care more of myself, like my coach. How you interact with that?
Well, the first thing, of course, to say, in terms of coaching, is I don't bring it up. So it's not like I say, right, so let's talk about your health today. Now, it may well come up when we're doing our kind of first overall intake session. Natural question for me to ask would be, in general, how are you doing? How's your health? I will ask that, but if there's no energy around that for them, then that's fine. It's not like I try and push it into a conversation. So I'm always listening for what's important for them, and then kind of will flow with that in terms of what areas of their life do they really want to look at. Of course, when I'm doing any kind of self-disclosure, I will naturally tend to talk about either health, wellness, fitness, nutrition, or sport in general, because that's just kind of some of my major hobbies. So I will talk about that, but I won't push it in. And I think that's one important fundamental in coaching as a whole, is I'm not looking to steer the coachee into my area of interest. They may not be interested.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. I think for those of them who are interested, I think then again, it's a willingness to really stay with them in the conversation. So for example, some people might just simply want to eat better, and that's it. That's all they're really interested in. Other people might want to take a little bit more of a, like you say, holistic look, which is, okay, well, yeah, there's my physical health, but maybe they've had some chronic disease, or maybe not. Maybe they're just getting some tension, they're feeling tense, or their doctors told them they've got blood pressure. So there might be some physical piece, but it might be more emotional health. It might just be, wow, I'm really feeling constantly stressed, under pressure at the moment. My emotions are all over the place. I've been on COVID lockdown for 6 months. Emotionally, something's not quite clicking for me. So it could be physical, it could be emotional, could be mental, in terms of just an overload at work. Could be all sorts of things. So first of all, there's that kind of piece, which is really listening at a level of when they say health or wellness or fitness or any kind of big word, what do they really mean by that? And it's very easy, especially for someone like myself who's very interested and passionate about this area, to hear a word from a coachee and then jump on it and go, oh yes, well, I know what you mean by that, and that reminds me of that time. And it's very easy for me to do that, honestly, and sometimes I have to kind of breathe and center and get myself not doing that. So again, staying focused on that. Now, having said that, there's a whole different level as well, which is that's what I would call level 1, which is just making sure my system functions, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, my system is kind of functioning. There's another level also, which is how can I actually improve my system, if you like. And that's where you can, a lot of the recent neuroscience comes in, where you're talking about, okay, so what I eat, for example, doesn't just impact my waistline, it's also impacting my brain. And there's increasing amount of evidence around things like that. My exercise, again, it doesn't just affect my dress size or my waist size. Actually, it's impacting the way my brain works. And so this kind of crossover between physical, mental, and emotional can be very powerful. And what I've found a lot with people is when we explore this area, a lot of people are not particularly interested in just purely, nutrition, for example. I'm not, okay, Marcus, yeah, I know I should eat that, but I like the cake, I like the Doritos, whatever. And that's like, okay, that's great. However, when we start to talk about delaying the onset of Alzheimer's, for example, or cognitive performance, suddenly like, whoa, tell me more about that. So some people, it's just different, so it might be a different kind of goal, but it also could be a different motivation for the same goal.
Yes.
So again, looking to really poke around and see what's important for them, and then really just beginning to work with it from there, really.
And it happened to you that, for example, this isn't a conversation with your clients and when you are in corporate or with your coaches in different programs that you are working with, but people that comes to you and say, that get inspired just for your presence, that say, what are you doing? I would like to really start taking care of myself out of coaching. You're coaches, but not in a coaching conversation, that they are coming, like the conversation is about communication and leadership and everything in the corporate that you are working with. But then they see you and they say, you are in your 50s. You are 53, right? One year elder than me. September. And the way you keep yourself super healthy, super fit, super thin, and you're tall. You are 193, you said, right? It's people get inspired in our age that, what are you doing? What are you eating? They come and ask you. They come for recommendation also.
Yeah, they do. Sometimes, not everyone. But yeah, some people over the years have said that, and it's always very funny. It's always hilarious to me when they say that. They say, so, okay, great. So obviously, you, Marcus, you like health, fitness, nutrition, whatever. What's your secret, or how do you do it? And I look at them and I can tell that what they're just hoping I'm going to say is, I've got this pill and I just take this pill once a day and it's all there. And that's what they're hoping you're going to say. And I honestly, most of the time, I just say to them, what do you think I do?
Yeah. This answer is very British one. If you're in Mexico.
But, you see, it's almost like they're wanting me to give them the answer so that in their mind they can say, oh, well, that won't work for me. You see, the classic one that comes up for me is this one, which is they're asking, and then they hear that I don't have children. And then they say, oh, well, you see, I've got
because children. Of that. Yeah, me too.
So, if I didn't have children, then I'd look like Brad Pitt. It's just, everyone's got their excuse, you see. So that's why there's not a lot of profit in me saying, well, here's what I eat in a day, you should eat that. Because honestly, they'll look at it. For a start, it won't be rocket science. It's something they'll either already know, or they could get off the web very easily. There's nothing magic about what I eat. You see, it's not knowledge, and this is where the health coaching program comes in. It's not the knowledge that makes the difference, especially in something like nutrition. Everyone kind of knows roughly, kind of 80-20 rule. 80% they know what kind of things they should be eating. Now, they may not know everything, that's different, but they've got, for most people, the average person in the street, they kind of know roughly that they should eat this kind of stuff, less of that. They know they should do a bit of movement or exercise. This isn't rocket science, and that's why it always amuses when people ask, what should I do? And I'm like, well, what do you think you should do?
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice. And I want to talk a little bit more about the program. And actually, I will be next week with Shayla and some of the Ahmed and another person in the conversation with health coaching. Right. And I want to invite also my friends to come and listen about this program. But I want you also to say, but you say something that I love, and I was really laughing, that all the excuses that we immediately put in our mind in whatever conversation, it is amazing. One of the things that I'm doing right now, I started being independent essential oils distributor in July last year, now 14, 15 months. And I have now 300 people in 12 countries in my team. Yeah, the team is growing. So I'm silver leader in this, and I'm growing, and I'm super enjoying, because I got this like as a complementary therapy. But many of my friends that I'm inviting to learn and how they can develop a team, the first thing they say, yeah, but you don't have kids and you have time free and you like, and I'm like, I'm not inviting you to sell. I'm inviting you to learn. And once you learn and you use them, you will be so happy that you will like to share with another person. And that is going to create the team itself. But the first thing that they say is exactly the word that I never mentioned. I never say, I invite you to sell this or I invite you to do what I'm doing. But the first thing is that, but you don't have kids, you have them. And I'm like, and why you have that I mean, so it applies for everything, that once you start saying that I don't have kids, yeah, you have time to be 6 hours in the gym, I don't. And they don't see that you go to the gym 30 minutes. Sometimes I have seen that. We have been in meetings that you are like, I'm going to do my exercise 30 minutes and you come back and it's like 30 minutes, we're still talking about the same thing that we were talking before you left to go to the gym. So it's super impressive that how we, as a human beings, we want results, super millennium way. We want the result tomorrow. We want to put the seed and we want the result just in 3 hours from now. And we are not living the process, that everything requires an intention and goal, and like really the effort to see, this is what I want to get. I'm here. I need to walk this street to get there. I'm not going to get that goal here if I do nothing. But there's something that is in our mind that is like for everything, not just for exercise. And then you say about this health and wellness coaching program that it's coming. And I would like to, if you can tell us from your perspective, how that has started and how is that helping you with your clients and helping so many people?
Wow. Okay. Well, where it came from was it really came out of the Newfield coach training program that we run. And about 3 years ago, and if I go back to that, the reason why we ended up with the Newfield coach training program was we could see certification coming across, 10 years ago, headed our way in Asia from the US and from Europe. And it was the same really with health coaching, about 3 years ago or so ago. Mark, who you mentioned, my business partner, who sadly passed away, and Dr. Kat, who's one of our graduates of the program, medical doctor. We kind of looked up together and said, well, look, we can see health coaching, again, it's that wave that's going to come. We can see it's already pretty big in the US, it's growing in the UK, it's growing in Europe, it's going to come to Asia. And so Mark and Dr. Kat really went off and then looked at the programs that were out there. They took a couple of programs, and then identified that there was a very big certification body in the US. And so we partnered with them. And Dr. Kat's really taken the lead on this, now with Mark sadly no longer being with us, to develop and run and then offer this program that's certified out of the US, but we run it, obviously, it's an online program, but we obviously, we become, as a company, we're based in Singapore, but it's a totally online program. You can do it from anywhere. That really builds on the ontological approach and then brings in some of the behavior change pieces that have proven very important in having people make sustainable change, not just in health, but in lots of areas. And so the program itself is kind of a mixture of, yes, some fascinating talks by world, experts, people who are certified, doctors, psychologists, etc., who are experts in their field, which I personally found fascinating. And it's just interesting to hear them talk about what's going on in those key areas. But also, it's more than that. It's not just health information. It also brings in looking at some of the key behavior change therapies and methodologies that can really help people sustainably change. And I think the reason why these two things have come together so much, especially led out of the US, is that in general is still, certainly in the West, the main medical model is you get sick, you go to a doctor, the doctor gives you a pill of some sort, and then that's it. If you take it, you may get better. If you don't take it, you may get better, you may not. But what wasn't happening was a lot of what gets in the way is not the diagnosis and the pill. It's I just don't take the pill, or I don't change my lifestyle, I don't shift my behavior. And the reason I don't shift my behavior is because of the way I'm seeing the world. And that's why it's such a great link with the ontological coaching, because it's all about the observer I am. There's fascinating research that says even when people have had a heart attack. I think it's something like 60 or 70% of people go back to smoking again within a month. So I'm a smoker, I have a heart attack, I come out, you think, in general, you'd think, well, okay, these guys are going to stop smoking, right? No, they don't. You see, there's something more important than just having the knowledge or just having the pill. That on its own doesn't change behavior. It's learning as a coach how to really work with creating sustainable change. And that's why the program is such a great marriage of, some wonderful health information, but also some great behavior change strategies.
I love that. The behavior approach and all the methodologies, like it was one of the things that I was like, oh my God, the stage of change and grow and fix mindset, and how we can learn that is not just like to do something, but what is the behavior that is behind that. And actually, I quit smoking 5 or 6 years ago, but when I did my program, I could understand also what was one of the reasons that I had in my behavior for smoking, that I was really damaging my whole system. So it's very nice. And the program is something that you also graduated. I mean, you also went through the program, even though you have all this. But one of the other things that and to talk more about the program, also Kat will be invited here, and Marcel to speak the stage of changes. So and Ben and all the doctors and everyone. So, but something that nobody else can tell me about, but you, is your book.
Oh, okay. Well, Sari could tell you about it too, to be honest. But yeah,
Sari also. Sari and you are co-authors of something, but you guys have been using that also in some programs that you have been doing, and it's part of your proposal as a, I mean, you partner as a couple, but also in this project that you guys did. It's like something that, so can you tell us what is that about? And I mean, I know Sari has been more public, in Singapore, and the different in media and all his, her, I will also ask her, no, don't worry, but tell me a little bit how, because all this wellness is part also of your proposal.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, the book's called Fit to Lead, and it's very much a leadership book. It's not a fitness book. It's not an exercise book or anything like that. But it really came about because of the conversations that Sari and I were having about 5 years or so ago now. And what was happening was, I was doing my leadership and coaching work, and very often I'd be working, with them people mentally, what's their belief system, their mental models, what's their emotional, relationship, emotional range. I would do all of that. And then Sari at the time was focusing mainly she was a personal trainer. So she was mainly focused in that area. She was certifying as a coach at that point, but her expertise at that time was really in the physical world. And we would come home from work each night or whenever we got together, and I would say, well, with my clients, honestly, I just wish some of them would go for a run. I just wish someone would move their body. It's so much here, so heady in corporate life. And she would say, well, that's interesting, because I'm dealing with people who move their body all the time. But honestly, the big thing that's in their way is how they're seeing things. It's their mental models. It's their emotional range. And so for me, it's like we were both on a different side of the same fence. And I went, oh, hang on, maybe there's something we can put together here. And again, it really started out of that New Field program, which is the whole somatic piece, which you and your colleague Chris have take the lead on, which is to say, well, look, let's get aware of ourselves physically. And then from Sari's perspective, she really brought in not just somatics, but also this kind of level of fitness, exercise, nutrition. And of course, I love that area too. And so all we did really was we said, well, let's put those three things together, physical, mental, and emotional, and look at what that can do for somebody in terms of performance. So it was very much a book written about performance, leadership, and then peak performance. And a very simple point of view is it doesn't matter really in life what you want to be good at. If you can have your system working physically, mentally, and emotionally, if you're firing on all cylinders across all three of those, you've just got much more chance that you're going to be successful. a lot of people still, even today, really see themselves in corporate life. I've just been working in corporate training today, and a lot of people just really see themselves as a brain on a stick, and that stick is their body, and their body's job is just to drag the brain around, really. And there's just so much, better than me. I mean, there's so much they're missing if they don't really harness the power of their physical approach. What's their how could their physical being affect what they're really looking to create? It's not just a mental game.
Yeah.
And so that's a short version. There's a whole lot more I could say, but that's really what the book's founded on. So we look at nutrition, we look at movement and how it can build capacities. If I want to deal with my stress, for example, it's not just a mental game. It's not just an emotional game. How can I deal with my stress? How can I mitigate my stress through different forms of movement and exercise? So there's a whole lot of that in the book.
And you have programs about using the book or no? The book is just in English right now, huh? The book is just in English, or you translate it in any other language?
It's only in English at the moment.
But do you have any plan to translate?
No, we haven't really, to be honest. But we could have. We could look at translating.
You Indonesia language. Sari is from Indonesia, right?
Yeah,
Spanish.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. We haven't done it yet. It's certainly possible.
I really like the book and the way you put all together all these things, and also that I have the honor to be mentioned in the book.
You are.
I really, the guys that are listening this and speak English, you have the book in Amazon or just in Singapore?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Yeah, it's on Amazon. There's a
Fit to Lead Marsden's. It's Sari Marsden, and show it.
Okay, so that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
and it's in a digital version as well on Amazon, so you can buy the physical version or the digital version. So yeah. What it's called.
I have the physical version. I will get the Kindle one. I love my Kindle. Now Kindle is more practical. Yeah, I don't want to. I have the book, but this is going with me everywhere. It's just in my suitcase. I'm not going anywhere right now. when I continue with my way of living, traveling, it's easier because this is going everywhere. Everywhere. It's one of the things that my oils and my Kindle. It doesn't matter if I don't get clothes, but everything else is going all the way with me. So. But I'm also asking you, do you have any program? Do you have specific programs using the book with Sari that you are using in different that you can tell us about?
We haven't at the moment. We haven't got one planned for this year. We've run some in the past.
Okay.
But I think honestly, increasingly what's happening is we're building it into other programs. So we have a program that the Works Partnership or the Coach Partnership will be launching next year, which is very much about taking the Fit to Lead approach, building some other elements around it, and then looking at how to take my leadership. Again, it's leadership. It's not. It's how can my physical, mental, and emotional boost my leadership and my performance. We've got a new program we're going to launch next year, which I'm very excited about because it takes a lot of the Fit to Lead approach, but builds in some other things from the other parts of our work. And we're going to start putting that out next year. So yes, so that's.
But public programs or corporate program?
Both.
Nice! Congratulations. So it's going to be like something that it's going to include everything and it's going to have all that approach. Okay, great. Congratulations. So, but you're going to tell us more right now because the program is not ready, right? So next year,
that's a world exclusive, Beatriz. No one else knows that yet. I've just told them. I've just launched it on Amazon.
Okay. It's going to be like this is like a premise, we are not going to say more now. But it's the idea that it's going to be something public. It's going to come. So,
I know if I look at my phone right now, Kat's going to be texting me going, "What are you talking about? You shouldn't be talking about that yet."
It's with Kat. You give me another.
Well, yeah, she's in charge of health. She's our director of health. So yeah, it's going to involve me, Sari, Kat, Sheila.
Yeah.
But it'll be out there next year, and I am very excited about it. It's going to be a new departure for us in some ways.
That's great. But the health and wellness program will continue.
Oh yeah, the health and wellness coaching program, the certification coach trainings program, absolutely, yeah. So we'll definitely.
It's amazing. This is starting in November. If somebody is
Yep.
listening this, that program is really amazing. And very soon, Kat is going to be here, and also Sari, and also, I mean, many people that have gone through the program. And one of the guys that were participating also as an our student, Marcel. So it's like the stages of change. I love that topic. I really like it. So. Marcus, one of the things that I don't know if you want to share more about wellness and coaching and your life right now, or you're all set, because I see your face. I know you. Like, okay, done.
I don't know what else to say, really. I think one thing that's worth saying, one thing I would say, just to make the point, we talked about this thing about children and not having children. Another great example this year, and I swear to you, I've had exactly these two conversations. I've had people look me in the eye and say, Marcus, of course I'm not getting health and fit, I'm not getting health and, healthy and fit this year because of lockdown, because of COVID. And I've had other people look me in the eye and say, Marcus, this has been great. COVID, lockdown has given me a fantastic opportunity to really look after my health and fitness.
I'm in the number 2. And I have so many friends in the number 1. I have lost 9 kilos. I'm doing yoga 5 days per week. I'm dancing every day in my 1 square meter here in the same room that I'm here is the room that I'm doing my lives, that I'm working, that I'm doing my coaching, that I'm doing everything. And I agree with that. Like, it's the observer that we are, and it's how we want to see the things. Is that because I don't have the gym, because I don't have the tools that I used to have, because the swimming pool is closed, but there are so many other exercises. I can swim without swimming pool. I can move my arms. I mean, if I really have the intention to do something, everything depends on myself.
That's how you see it.
How do I want to see it? I have been super. Every day I'm still losing, and the way I'm taking care that I'm cooking, I have time to cook myself. I'm in the same place. I'm not traveling to many places. I'm not eating laksa because I'm not going to Singapore, but I'm taking care of my health and how I'm eating. I have time to do a break and say, okay, time to eat. I left my phone in my room. I go and have lunch instead of working. So there's so many things that are really helping. And I see that many people is like me, like you said, like some of your clients, and so many other friends like, oh my God, I'm just eating. It's super bored this time. I'm getting so much weight. I have nothing to do. And I'm like, how come nothing to do? I have to go to sleep sometimes midnight because I have so many things to do. And I'm like, it's depending how we want to see it. It's how we want to take our health and wellness. And one of the things that I was telling you is that I'm doing these primal dances that I want to invite whoever is listening this and whoever listen after, that I'm doing primal dance to celebrate my 52 years old that I just got in September. So the way that I'm celebrating this time is facilitating primal dance every Sunday in Spanish. But then some of my students in Singapore say, hey, and what about us? Because one of the 2 people saw my announcement in Instagram. They, are you going to do something with us? And I was like, yeah, that's true. So based in that comment that it was just 2 people, not all the students, 2 people asked, I said, yeah, it's true. I should do a facilitation in English at least once a month. So I'm doing that the fourth Sunday of the month in English. And I'm doing it in a time that people from India and Singapore can join. So that's my idea. That is not very late, but it's not very early either, because we have 13 hours of difference. So I will keep doing it on the 4th Sunday. I will send you I will invite all our students in Singapore and Newfield and Newfield. I mean, the coach partnership company.
Great.
And the coach, the TWP. So I will invite you guys, because I think it's a very nice way to unblockage, and it's also like whatever help us to move and to keep healthy is that. So Marcus, I really want to thank you for accepting to be the first person in my ATMA con Beatriz in English. So this is something that I'm just starting with you. This is the first one.
I'm very honored. It's been a great pleasure. Always a pleasure when we chat. You know that.
Yeah, me too. So thank you very much. And guys, if you saw the book, buy it. It's very good. I have it. So thank you very much and see you soon and take care. And anytime you need me, you know, you can count with me. Okay. Sari said, love it. She put like it. Many people were there, friends of mine, friends from Singapore, but Sari is saying that she's watching. There's no question, but there are people watching this and liking. So I send you the recording after.
Lovely.
Thank you very much.
It's been a real pleasure. Always great to chat.
Bye. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.